So starting out in business, seeing the expectation that I should just serve, that I just should just provide. It's like people dropping in the DMs, hey, I just want to ask you this quick question, or I want to pick your brain, or, I know you're really smart. You know a lot about, can you just tell me? And so at the time when I started out, I was working with parents of kids who have ADHD or autism, and so that's a soft spot, right? And so it's really easy to be like, okay, well, I'll just jump on real quick and I'll tell
Yeah.
you. So that's one part of it. This my perception of this expectation that I was supposed to be able to just give information. And then it became clear to me, no, this is unsustainable. This is not how it's going to work. I can't make a living from this. So then seeking support, seeking coaching, seeking consulting, where I'm looking for guidance for people to tell me how to price. And so when I go to them, they're giving me advice like, well, just move with the audacity of a mediocre white man. That's not helpful to me. I'm not a mediocre white man. I'm not operating in space. I'm not positioned how they are in society, so I don't think that way. And so what I needed was real guidance on how to get out of my own way, but how to do it in a way that is sustainable and that I could replicate. So I could teach somebody else to do, or I could ask them to do so that I could take a vacation or take some days off, but they weren't giving me anything that was actionable. So those were big moments for me.
So when people would come at you in your DMs, because I've had people, they love to
hmm
pick the brain. Um, was it all types of people? Was it just Black people? Was it white people? Was it everybody just expecting you to um, provide them free information?
What I ran into a lot was people who were just coming to terms with them or their children having autism or ADHD, or an entrepreneur coming to terms with that. So it was a range of people. The
Mhm.
problem, I'll say the problem, but the real challenge was I had no way to filter that. Like you can't stop people from coming in. You can technically stop people from coming to your DMs, but people gonna try it regardless.
Right, right,
But
right.
the thing is, I had no filter for when they showed up in my DMs. Like
Mm,
where to go, if you want to talk about this, you go here next. If you want to talk about this, go here next. Like I didn't have a system that knew how to filter what their requests were, because I could blame it on, okay, well, I'm advertising myself as this person who offers this sort of thing. That's fine. That's okay. But the thing is, so there were some things I could change about the way I was presenting myself online,
mhm.
which I have changed. But even if they still come into my DMs, there should be a system in place where it makes it very clear to both of us whether or not we belong in conversation together. Yeah. And I had this person even recently who I had talked to a few times over the past couple of years. We hadn't talked in a while, and I saw them on TikTok. I had not seen them in a while. And
Mhm.
they do a lot of work around decolonization and liberation. And I said, hey, good to see you. Great, back on the platform. I understand that you haven't been. And they messaged me right back. It was like, hey, I need for you to look at something. I said, okay. I said, so you do understand that that is the kind of work that I do for compensation. Is there an amount of money that you are able to pay right now for this? So in that case, I didn't mind them suggesting an amount. It was totally okay because it
Yeah,
wasn't necessarily within the scope of what I'm doing currently. So
right.
name an amount. But the thing is, you have to name an amount. You can't
Yeah.
just pop up in my DMs and I'm saying, hello, good to see you. And I believe it's because I'm a Black woman
Oh
who
yeah.
used to do a certain kind of work that they thought. I can't imagine that they would just pop up in other people's DMs doing that.
No. No.
And I stopped them immediately and said, no, you need to, we need to talk about an amount here, because this is work that I'm compensated for.
And what was the response?
And they said, okay. So they came back with an amount, but then the conversation went away. I
Yeah.
never heard from them again.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
which means, you know what? Now we're clear.
Right.
We're very
So,
clear that
mhm.
that's not a conversation I should have been engaged in the first place.
Mhm. Mhm.
We're
And
clear.
that yeah. And that's absolutely right. And that response in a whole lot of situations is your answer. we had a little, conversation before we started recording about Black women and where um, anxiety comes from pricing. Can you talk about that a little bit, because you can obviously articulate this way better than I can, since this is your
Hmm.
expertise. I know what I feel, but can you articulate like what you've determined and researched, and what your research has shown you and your experience when it comes to Black women and pricing?
Many of us just don't even know where to start, first of all.
Right.
And a lot of us, for whatever reason, give things away. Like we feel this urge to give things away. Now that can be part of the strategy if done, as I say, strategically. But just giving things away because we don't even know what the value should be, it undermines us from the very beginning. And I hear a lot of people, especially on social media, Black women talking on social media about family and friends. Your family and your friends may not fit your client demographic in the first place. And so
Right.
one of the things we're not guided to do is to focus on the client demographic and the client psychographic. And so for most of us, if we took the time, so when we talk about research or talk about our methods, we take time to do that work, that is going to lead us away from our family and friends in the first place. And the thing is, um, talking to our family and friends is a comfortable place for a lot of us to exist, or it seems like it's comfortable, but it can also be very misleading. So if our family and our friends are not in that demographic and they're not in that psychographic, then we're getting misleading data to start with. If you're not talking to the people who would actually purchase from you, who probably won't be your family and friends, like them supporting you, giving you money, seed money, that's a different kind of conversation. But when you're talking about doing your research to really support your pricing for sustainable pricing, then you have to talk to the people who would actually purchase from you. In this society, we are often put in a position, and a lot of us are put in this position from childhood, and especially if you're an eldest daughter, where you are
Mm-hmm.
expected to, you have obligations to the community that are not reciprocated. And I'm a person who believes strongly in community. Community is very important, but there has to be reciprocation there. So if you are constantly put in a position where you have no idea what the value of what you're bringing to the situation is, then you may not even think to ask people to pay for it in the first place, or think to, or you may not even think to ask people to pay for it in the first place, or you may not even think about what that price should be. Just pay me whatever, just whatever you got.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Mm-hmm.
based on whatever they're offering, because the thing is, you're constantly trying to align your price with a sustainable business or sustainable model. So every time you charge $5, for example, and somebody pays that $5, that is a validation that that $5 is probably what you should be charging.
Right.
So if you're in a position where you imagine that you have to serve all the time, then you are actually losing out on data that will sustain your business and that will grow your business. So not only are you losing the money, but you're also losing the data that would validate what your offer is and validate what your amount is, because you're in this position where you think you should just give things away.